Hi everyone, this is another must-see Sister Wives episode, Season 10, Episode 9, and it's called Hawaiian Vacation Erupts. And there's just so much that happens in this episode. It's crazy. Kody has a tantrum about a luau. Christine has a terrible response to Mykelti wanting to get married to Tony. And Mary crashes into Leon in the most dramatic way. Plus, a really hilarious eyebrow moment. What more could we ask for? So for that reason, this is a must-see episode, and let's get into the recap. This episode starts and the whole family is on Hawaii's Big Island in a huge company retreat place that can house them all. This was probably their biggest trip they ever took on the show, and it forced them to all be in close quarters, which never ends well, you know? At the beginning of the episode, they're planning on going to a coffee place for breakfast, but Christine calls it a bistro because apparently in the LDS church, or their church too, coffee is frowned upon, which I didn't know this. Robin clarifies that it's more of like advice not to drink it for good health. Well, count me out of that advice, just saying. Or, I don't know, I love coffee. Anyways, immediately when they get to the coffee shack, the parking is a little tricky and Kody is triggered by the parking situation and snaps at Mary, who's just trying to tell him to hang loose. She says, hang loose. Isn't that what they do here? And Kody tells them all to go, and he and Caleb, Maddie's boyfriend, who Kody has a bromance with at this point at the time, will deal with the cars. But I just found he was kind of rude to Mary. She was just trying to tell him to like lighten up, and it was not received well. Anyways, then he comes in and goes right to the head of the table and tells everyone, listen, I'm your father. Whether I'm right or wrong, I'm always right. Okay, Kody, sit down on that one. Caleb's face, he kind of looks at the camera, breaks the fourth wall for like just a second, and he looks like he's cringing. It's hilarious. We all know what Caleb's thinking here. Kody says, no matter how stupid I am, I'm the president. We probably should have thought this was a red flag, but I think at the time when I was watching this episode, I just thought he was just being funny or weird or something. After coffee, they went to the beach, all 23 of them, and immediately there's a squabble about where the umbrellas should go. Kody is setting up countless of these umbrellas and complaining about, what area, and Mary and Christine actually agree that the area he chose is too hot for the kids and they have to move spots. This has to be one of the only times Christine and Mary were actually a united front. And then all of a sudden, Mary is making a salad and Kody says, hey, can Christine do that for a second? I want to talk to you. And Kody admits that things have been bad with Mary and him, and he's treading lightly and in a calculated way so that things don't go back to those dark places with her. Spoiler alert, things never got good again. But I actually, in this moment, I see Kody trying with Mary here. He wanted to pull her aside and tell her how touched he was with it by a gift she had given him recently. She had painted 4 landscapes with 23 trees in each one and given one to each wife, one canvas to each wife. And he just says that was really cool and hugs her, and it's kind of cute. So there was clear hope at this point. Kody goes on about how Mary should keep painting and how basically she needs a hobby. Next scene, we learn that Leon had called Mary out about having thin eyebrows, which honestly, I had noticed immediately in this episode. They were on the thin side for sure, not gonna lie. And now Mary, Brianna, and Janelle, yes, that's right, Mary and Janelle, because Nancy had told them to do something together. they're going to paint their eyebrows really huge to get a reaction from Leon, and it's actually hilarious. So Mary put on Janelle's eyebrows and Brianna's, and then she wanted to put her own on, and Janelle said, "No way, I'm doing it." And honestly, I like moments like this on the show. They show Leon, who is not really wanting to have this moment on camera. They tried to ignore them, actually, in true teenager fashion, but ultimately they do laugh and ask if the eyebrows are made of poop. And this is a classic that I'd forgotten about. Caleb then is clearly still trying to get on everyone's good side at this point, and he gets some huge mahi-mahi, slices it or does whatever it is with it, and cooks it for the family. Holy moly, how did he know how to do all that, honestly? But it was definitely a great accomplishment. And then Madison sits everyone down to talk about their wedding and what dates they need to be there, what times, etc. Maddie says if no one gives them a play-by-play itinerary, it will not happen. And that she has to talk to them like kids. And Kody says Maddie's a control freak with a laid-back boyfriend in a confessional, and she asks Kody to be their officiant, and he just blank stares and says, okay. Maddie says that she would have expected some better reaction, emotion, but she's like, just okay. Kody admits that he was actually shocked that it wasn't Caleb's dad, who is a pastor, doing the officiating. And his secondary reaction was that he just felt it was a lot of pressure, and he really doesn't look thrilled. We also learned that a month ago, Caleb's mom had passed away, so his dad didn't feel ready to be the officiant. It was already hard for him to be at the wedding, so that is very, very sad, honestly. And now they're learning how to surf, and they all wear these yellow suits. Some of them did very well out there. Aspen was actually a really good surfer, and Gabe says he caught the most waves. Christine is like, shred the gnar, and she just seems very hyper in this scene. And then Mary surfed over Leon's head, like really surfed right over the head. It seemed really dramatic, honestly. And then their hosts propose, get this, a luau for dinner, and all hell breaks loose because there'll be pork there. And Kody yells, "I'll just go hungry." Janelle says, there's going to be other food. Like, it's okay. There's going to be other food. And he says, poi poi, I'll skip that too. He's such a baby in this scene here. And Logan in the background says, I hope they have pork. I haven't had pork in a long time. And this, I think, is what really pushed Kody over the edge. And he ends up saying, yeah, nobody asked my permission about this. Everybody just piss off. So it is the luau tantrum, probably the grumpiest Kody has ever been on the show up to this point. Anyways, they end up going to the luau, and the kids love the food, and Kody's mood did improve. Most kids did actually eat the pork, and Janelle tasted it too. It was like barbecued pig, and it actually did look good. And as if that wasn't enough moments in this episode, the most awkward conversation ever between Christine and Mykelti takes place, where Mykelti wants to excitedly reveal that she and Tony want to get married and that Tony wants to talk to Kody. Fast forward to now, by the way, Tony is husband of the freaking year, but he didn't have the same family ties as Caleb, and Christine did not react well at all in this moment. So Mykelti comes in her mom's room, Christine is doing laundry, and they sit, and Mykelti says, I love my life. I love St. George, Utah. And she says, I really like Tony. And that they've been talking about progressing in their relationship. Christine says she didn't think they were serious. She thought that St. George was her playtime, just kind of like this little time where she would find herself or whatever. And Mykelti asks Christine, can Tony talk to dad? Christine is like, talk to dad about what? Dating you? Mykelti says, no, about us getting married. And Christine is holding back her real opinion She just looks really upset. And Mykelti brings up about when Maddie announced to the family that she's in love with Caleb, and Christine leapt in her arms. And so why then, when she told her mom, the reaction was so different? Mykelti says that she expected her mom to be even more excited because she's her biological daughter. And understandably, Mykelti is super hurt. I think any of us would be, and I get it. Christine is in panic mode. She's so scared to tell Kody that she wants to tell him after the vacation. And I just feel so awful for Mykelti in this scene. And for a while following this, I feel like Tony wasn't really fully accepted by the family for a long time. And that was a great episode, guys. The vacation erupted. And let me know your thoughts on this and if you've seen this episode before. All right, bye, guys.